What's a brain break? What is that? I've not heard of that. They didn't have that when I was in grade school.
They did have them when you were in grade
Okay.
school. I'm certain that's not what they called them.
All right,
But
sure.
it's just like, so, it's scientifically proven that children can only sit for the number of minutes representative of their age, right? So, like, if we're talking about a child that's 7 years old, the most that they would be able to sit uninterrupted and maintain focus is like 15 minutes.
Wow.
And so in order to extend that time, you give them time where they are up and not really working their brains, but working their body. So that actually extends the longevity of their brain being able to focus.
Whoa.
So we watch these probably like 3 to 5 minute videos where they can move around the classroom and dance and follow along with an activity or work out. And so then they can sit back down and focus for a little bit longer.
Really? Wow. And that's pretty cool. We didn't do anything like that. I'm telling you, we didn't. That sounds way cooler than what we were doing. We would, like, every once in a while they would give us what was it? It was like Dare to Read or something. Oh, what was it called? I mean, I was in grade
I
school a
thought you
long
were
time
going to
ago.
say like jump rope for heart.
No, we did do the jump rope for hardship. Maybe we'll talk about that in a little bit because people have been bringing that up on TikTok again. But no, we would do it would be like a silent reading thing. They'd be like randomly throughout the
sure.
day and be like, all right, everyone,
Drop everything and read.
yes, drop everything and read. And we get like 20 minutes to read. And, I read a lot now.
Yeah.
When I was in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, that was not super exciting. But maybe getting up, being able to like watch a video for 5-10 minutes and being like, oh, this is cool. Like, let me just take a break would have been a little bit nicer.
I mean, just imagine like your teacher putting on Just Dance, What Does the Fox Say? And like you can
Wow.
get down in the classroom for
Yeah,
4 minutes in between learning time.
I would have been down. Yeah, I would have been very down for that. That's interesting. I didn't know that. What's something else that maybe, either if it's kids or parents don't realize about like coming back to school or when they're getting into school?
I definitely think that like when we talk about going back to school, so much of that first week is about, and I think you and I kind of talked about this before we started, but like so much of that first week is not really about the learning. It's about building that community and like how do we set up this classroom structure and this routine, and like even giving voice to my 7 and 8 year olds and asking them like, so what kind of teacher do you want me to be? And like, what do you want the rules in our classroom to be? And like really getting them to have that buy-in that this isn't just my classroom space, but it's our classroom space. And I think that that's like so much of a part of what parents don't see. I think, when we are getting ready to go back to school, particularly on social media, we see a lot of videos about school supplies and like all of these kinds of things. And parents are forgetting like there's so much more beyond like the actual supplies that we use in the classroom, but it's the ways in which that we use the supplies. And like why communal supplies are important is because it furthers that community feeling that we have in the classroom, because this isn't just my stuff or your stuff, this is our things. And like how do we take care of our things, and how do we take care of this stuff in our classroom, and really how do we take care of each other?
Yeah, I feel like it's almost building, I mean, definitely a community aspect. There's like a team aspect to that, right? Where it's like it almost turns everybody, puts everybody on the same side. Like we all want this to go well, instead of like when you brought up even having them maybe partake in like offering up rules or suggestions on how they want you to show up. How has that helped you as a teacher, or helped maybe the class as a whole? Because that's something that I've not necessarily heard a bunch, but that sounds really interesting. Or what kind of ideas do this 6 and 7 year olds have?
Well, I think,
I'm sure they have some awesome ones.
Well, I mean, we start with the basic, like, we shouldn't punch each other in the throat, right? Like,
Sure.
they will say things like, we shouldn't jump off the tables like WWE. And I'm like, no, we shouldn't, right? Like,
No.
those are, but then we get to the, like, more heart of, like, we shouldn't call each other bad names, right? Or we shouldn't hurt each other's feelings. And I think it's important for them to say it, right? Because then it's coming from them. It's not coming from me as an adult saying you shouldn't do these things.
Yeah.
This is a way in which you want to be respected, right? And so when they are coming up with the rules, that provides me with a level of buy-in I don't think that I would get if I just told them, hey guys, these are what the rules are going to be this year.
Yeah.
And this is what you have to do, because now they feel like, oh, Mrs. Harris is actually listening to what we're saying.
Yeah.
And then also it helps me help them develop consequences. So now if we aren't nice to each other, if we don't use use kind words with one another, what should the consequence be for that? And then we can kind of talk about what does it look like to take accountability, like, for these kinds of things.
For breaking the rules. It almost, it's like it definitely, it sounds like it would give them a sense of like ownership over that, right? Where it's like they came up with that rule, and then maybe the consequences for not following the rule. So they have to own that. Like, they have to be
It actually
accountable.
gives me leverage too, because I'm like, do you remember when you said? Do you remember when
Let's
you
roll
said?
the tape, yeah.
Yes, let's play that tape back, please.
Yeah.
And so then
Yeah.
they're like, okay, Mrs. Harris, like, because they get it, like, we all talked about this together as a group, and so now you know that you have to be accountable for these things.
Yeah. What's a rule in your classroom that maybe you don't, that maybe it's not super common? Do you have anything that sticks out that you're like either really proud of, or maybe is a little different that people wouldn't understand?
Try to solve it yourself first.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So one of the things that I deal with often is, Mrs. Harris, I need your help, right? Like, no matter, it could be something as small as like they can't find something, and something as major as I need to go to the nurse because I'm not feeling well. And, you know, I think children rely a lot upon adults, but my job as a teacher is to help them build self-independence, right?
Yeah.
And to be able to do things on their own. And so rule number 3 is try to solve it yourself first, right? Meaning you have to ask 3 people before you come and ask me, right? So if it's something that is not an emergency, your classmates should be able to, there's someone in this classroom that can help you with this problem, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's how to log onto your computer, or you need assistance with some work or something like that. And so they will come and ask me a question, and I'll say, well, did you try to solve it yourself first?
Yeah.
You know, and then they'll look at me and I'm like, okay, ask 3 people before you come and ask me. And I'll have 3 helpers that are the 3 identified people that they can go ask for help, or else they can ask whoever they want. But a lot of people don't understand how important it is to teach children to do things for themselves and to solve problems on their own, particularly at such a young age, right? Because now by the time they are in 4th, 5th, or 6th grade, they will have this level of confidence that if they hit a hurdle or a roadblock, they'll be able to figure it out on their own.
Yeah, and they'll also have, I guess, the confidence and maybe even less like social anxiety to go up and ask for help, like voice that they do need help from their peers, as opposed to like just looking up for, you know, whoever the authority figure is.
Correct.
And too, probably those kids that are providing the assistance, right? If they have to go ask 3 other people, if I'm having to show somebody else how to tie their shoes when I'm in 2nd grade, I'm going to get better at tying my shoe. Like, you know what I mean? It's going to stick. Teaching somebody else, it's going to stick a little bit more.
Yep.
So that's a great rule.
Hey, thanks for watching there, guy. Click right over here if you want to see that episode in its entirety. Or you can click over here and subscribe to the channel. See all the other fun shit we do here. It's really up to you, guy.